Morning, Chez.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Who's Next podcast.
I feel I'm pretty much wearing almost the exact same outfit as I was last time.
I made an effort not to.
Definitely a different t-shirt.
Same pants.
Yeah, same pants and socks. And the usual charm.
Quick wit and banter.
Obviously.
So last time you kind of got to know a bit about us. We just want to share some funny stories this time.
I've got to be honest, if you're still watching after the first one, then fair play to you. Please come in the shop, tell us that you're still watching, and I will definitely high-five it. Because, the first one, we just got really bored, didn't we?
All over the place.
We were just like, this is terrible. Why would anyone want their haircut with these two? Why would you even want to go near them?
Customer knocking on the door during the filming, it was all great, really professional.
Apologies to that lad. But,
school kids going by, beeping.
School kids going by, beeping. You could hear me after every sip of coffee because it was banging, which I'm going to try very hard not to do today. But first one was good. If you are watching this one, again, thank you. We're just mainly, we didn't really say what we did, we're just mainly doing it as a bit of fun, really. We just did it as a bit of fun, just to chat about, it'll mainly be around hair, but then just chat about anything really, like just a bit of this, that and the other. If you've got any things you'd like to hear us talk about, or you're interested in, or anything about the shop, or our careers, or just anything. I was about to say, as soon as I said careers, that's cringe. But anything by all means let us know. But today we were talking about it, we were saying about funny shop stories of hair stories. Like say one of my regulars said about that, like funny sort of stories in the shop. So
I think we all got interested in hair for a reason. We've all got that first experience of stepping into a salon or a barber shop and just being hit with something that stays with us until we train. So I wanted to talk a bit about that, and then some of the funny stories, I guess, and times that I've maybe been a bad customer and just funny haircuts. And
yeah, I could definitely see you being a bad customer.
Awful, mate. I'm that guy with the ruler.
Yeah, when you said to do your mullet bits, I was just like, the whole time I was just like, that meme where he's got the dude and he's like trying to he's like pressing the button.
Yeah.
Just like that. I was just like that. Just like sweating the entire time.
So what's your earliest memory then of going into a barber shop or a salon as a kid?
The earliest memory of just haircuts is my old man doing it for me at home. Don't worry, I want a bowl cut. Mum always threatens me, saying she goes whenever we've been busy, she'll be like, do you want me to come in and help out? She goes, I could just do bowl cuts, like literal bowling haircuts. But no, I think the first one, and if my old man's watching this, he'll probably, I don't know, he might remember, he might not, but I think it's the other day, like the home hair kits you could get from Argos.
Yeah.
And it was a Nicky Clark one. And if anyone, if you're old enough like me, if you're like Nicky Clark, used to be on like ITV This Morning and stuff like that. He used to do like Lee Stafford did.
Yeah.
He did it as well at the same sort of time.
Yeah, Nicky had like the longer hair, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, the long flowing mane. Most women probably looked at his hair and thought, Christ, I can't get hair like that. As nice as that. Anyway, but they had, and what was really good is they had almost like, the best way I could describe it was almost like he had like a little schoolroom, like booklet.
Right.
And they're showing all the different haircuts. So he had the spiky one, two back and side. You had like a French crop, as they called it.
Yeah.
And just all this sort of stuff and that. And I remember seeing them, and I said to my dad, and I remember pointing at the sort of spiky one. I was like, Dad, I want that. And he was like, yeah, all right, mate, sit down, and did it. And it was literally two back and sides. And I can't remember the cut exactly, but I can remember him sort of doing it, and I can remember him being well chuffed with himself and being like, go on, off we go. And I'm just being like, yeah, cool, Dad, thanks. Looking in the mirror and being like, yeah, I think it looks all right. And then when I put some gel in it and stuff like that, the good gel, like the green 80p from the pound shop.
Alberto Balsam.
That was top quality. I'm talking literally, it was called S gel or something like that, just like the
wet look gel.
Oh mate, yeah. Even if you went like that, you still look like you just dunked your in water. And so that's probably my earliest memory of a haircut. And then I remember going to a salon that my mum used to get her hair cut in, that she still gets her hair cut in now, called Spikes, down in Clacton. And I remember going in there with literally a poster this big of Michael Owen, and saying I want my hair cut like that. And she went, yeah, all right, fair play. So I had my hair cut like Michael Owen. And then, so that's probably my earliest memory of haircut. And then I remember going to a salon that my mum used to get her hair cut in, that she still gets her hair cut in now, called Spikes, down in Clacton. And I remember going in there with literally like a poster this big of Michael Owen, and saying I want my hair cut like that. And she went, yeah, all right, fair play. So I had my hair cut like Michael Owen. So I remember that as well. And then when I started going to an actual barber, it was a place called a guy called Pete the Greek. That was he loved being called that. That was what he wanted to be referred to because he was Greek, and his name was Pete. Lovely bloke. There was also a guy called Yod that worked in there as well, who was younger. Again, both really welcoming. It was very much like an old school barbershop. You were in and out 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was. But that's what people they had a line halfway down the road most of the time. They were always cutting. They both, and I think that was my first introduction of like hair could give you a nice life.
Yeah.
Both had BMWs. And they were like newer BMWs at the time, stuff like that. I mean, obviously you can have a BMW in any kind of life, but like any job. But like, I was like, wow, come here, you can get like a job like that. And the salon was lovely. I mean, Dad was postie, so I remember he used to deliver to both their houses, so they both lived in a nice place. So I was like, oh, well, you can actually do all right from here, sort of thing. So, rude. So I remember going in there. And I think at the time I just wanted a two back and sides, basically French crop. So I was like, we want to make two back and sides French crop, in and out, 15 minutes flat sort of thing. And I think at that time it was like £5 for a kid, £7 for an adult.
Nice.
So
that's a lot of haircuts to buy a BMW.
That's what I mean. There would always be like at least 8 or 9 people waiting,
wow.
And there'd be people at the door sort of thing. So like it was always like that.
Proper chop shop.
So you think this is going back like I'm 34 now, so that's back when I was like 12, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It was just like a chop shop banging them out sort of thing. And but then as you get a little bit older and you come to styles a bit more now, you're like, actually I don't want just 8, but like, can I have a bit of So it started to become a standing joke. And like my dad, up until I think I got the shop, I think he was still going there. So he'd be like, oh right, I'll be on the phone with him, or I'll be on the phone with him, I've got to go and get my hair cut. And I'd just be like, oh, you're going for something, going to see Pete? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm going for something different today and stuff like that. Because it'd be like, you would go in there, and it doesn't matter, you could go in there and go, I want that, and you'd walk out with 2 back.
Yeah.
So you'd get all of that, just bar the mullet. And and again, it sounds like I'm being I'm not like, it's like a really it's a nice memory of when I was a kid and stuff like that, because it's just fun. It just makes us happy sort of thing. But and it was like, it got to a bit, I was like, what are we doing, mate? So we'd be like, right, yeah, so I want a bit of something to play with, a bit of mess up, so get some product in it and stuff like that. All right, mate, yeah, no worries. 2
Same as usual.
Off at the back, bosh, crop, you're out. So it's like, so anyone now that comes in and wants like skin fade crops or 2 crops, like, mate, I had this when I was 12, mate, like this is. And everyone's like, oh, this is new style, and it's just like, not really. But so just remembering that, and just always like badgering my dad and that, and then my brother like go there. But I used to go there like literally every other Wednesday before football training with all of the lads I used to play football with. And because it was only a £5, so it was just like every other, and we'd all go in there and that, and all of us had different like. Some of us had really super thick hair, quite voluminous hair that didn't, they just wanted to poke out, or they had a bit of a quiff, going up, stuff like that. And all of us would basically walk out the same haircut. We'd all go to football training, almost looking identical. And you could tell, and I'd just be like, oh, you just had your hair cut? It's like, yeah. But that's what we used to do. And then, so that was my earliest one. So that's what I can think. I'm trying to think of anything.
I got quite similar memories. I mean, I remember being really little, holding my dad's hand, looking up at him. We walked in this shop called Cutters, and it was in the top of House to Town. And he's gone, which one do you want?
Oh, so there's like the other pictures on the wall, yeah.
No, as in which stylist do you want? And I was like, I didn't have a lot of men in my life. Like, Dad was always at work, and Mum would always take me shopping and see all the women. So I was like, oh, I'll have the man. It was like a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
And a guy called Julian, so he was cutting my hair for a while, and I remember must have been about 7 or 8, and we didn't have, to print a picture off the internet with dial-up was just gonna take a month.
Yeah.
So again, I brought in an A1 size poster of The Rock.
Oh yeah, good choice.
This is what I want.
Are we talking fanny pack roll?
Just after fanny pack. We're talking Elvis open shirts with the big sideburns.
Yeah, so when he went cool all of
yeah. So I'm like, that's what I want. He's like, okay. The Rocks of...
What even was that real cut at the time? Probably like what?
Just a short back and sides. Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy.
That's what I mean. Like when you really look at that haircut now, it's just like, it's a super simple cut, but he made it look like it was some really.
But we have different hair texture. I'm a Caucasian man. He's a Samoan man, and this is what the guy said. Is like, this guy
like 6
is from a Samoan heritage. He's got he's got a different skin tone and different hair type, and I was like, yeah, but you always tell me I've got really thick hair, so I want this. And again, just walked out with the standard 2 back and sides.
Go back to the same place with a picture of The Rock now, and I'm going to go, I want that.
Yeah, all bald.
Bald, yeah, but I want to look like him, like, give me that look.
But then I sort of graduated up. There was like another guy there who was sort of younger, cooler, called Dale, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Dale. And I started, as I got older, experimenting with like mohawks and stuff. So yeah, I'd have sort of start with a faux hawk with all highlights in it, and then we get shorter on the sides and higher up, and eventually I had a proper mohawk. And yeah, I got kicked out of school for that.
Cool.
Yeah, I got suspended.
So Dale, that's quite coincident. Is that
same Dale?
Is that the
same Dale I worked with in Housestead? Yeah.
Oh, right, nice.
Come 360 now.
Yeah.
Since I was about 5. Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's loyalty there.
No, it wouldn't have been 5. Maybe an 8 or 9, but yeah, a long time.
Yeah. You were a nipper, mate.
But yeah, I remember being, so I had this haircut, this mohawk. I get pulled out of, I think it was an IT class or something, by this lady called Mrs. Bartrop. She never liked me, and she's pulled me out. She's gone, we need to have a chat. I was like, okay, what's wrong? You can't go to class with that hair. Okay. Why? You're disrupting the rest of the class. And I went, I'm 14 years old and 6'3". I sit at the back anyway. No one can see me. Yes, but you have the same hair as Sid Vicious. No, I don't. You do, and Sid Vicious bit the head off of a bat and sacrificed a sheep on stage. And I went, look, you're getting all your musicians confused here, love.
Yeah.
That was Marilyn Manson, that was Ozzy Osbourne, and Sid Vicious is in the Sex Pistols. I'm not saying Sid Vicious is a nice man, but he didn't have a mohawk.
No.
And I'm not trying to be Sid Vicious. In fact,
it's just everywhere.
No one in the Sex Pistols had a mohawk. So what are you chatting about? So this has gone back and forth. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to argue with you, miss, but I'm really into my punk music, and I understand a lot about this music and what you're... Yeah,
leave me alone.
I'm in a band and this is what I'm doing, but what you're telling me is wrong. Like, if I can't have a mohawk, give me a legitimate reason, but you're telling me it's because of Sid Vicious, and I don't think you know who Sid Vicious is. What instrument did he play? Can you tell me that? What was his wife called? Can you tell me that? So I basically just got suspended. There was no comeuppance, so that I got suspended, and that was that.
It's amazing how haircuts have done that over the years, though. Like, a girl I used to work with back in Southend, she had multicoloured hair. Loveliest girl, probably the nicest girls I've probably ever met or worked with. So like, really, really nice, like quite timid and shy, but just a really, really, really nice person. And like in training, like she got told, I was like, probably have to like you, man.
In hairdressing training?
Nah,
right.
I was just working in a bank.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is like, when I first moved to Southend, I needed a job quick, so that was like the first thing that came up. And this was no, tell her I'd been in hair. No, this was after hair because I'd done
after that salon.
Yeah, that hadn't gone very well, and I was like, well, I need a job quick. Anyway, yeah, she was like the nicest person. I remember saying, I was like, oh, your hair's silly. And it was like really, really cool, like turquoise, like really cool colours. And they were like, oh, you need to change that. She was like, what? And I was just like, it's not really business appropriate. It's like really cool, so that no one sees us. The person that rings up isn't going to go, hey, oh, hang on. You've got turquoise everything. I'm not helping. You're not going to help me with my fraud. Absolutely.
You sound way too colourful.
The fraudster. And just like, but then saying that, years later, because it all went in like bands of like, so like band 8 you were rock bottom, and then band 1 you were like bloody like board of directors.
Right.
And then there was a woman that used to come in. I say this was a good couple of years later, and she used to sit right at the top of the office and that. She was band 4, so like that's kind of like
middle card
building manager, like call centre manager, like a big boy. And she had the reddest hair I've ever seen in my life. Like it was so vibrant red. And I'm like, you're sat there with your laptop, you can probably tell anyone in this building what to do and they have to do it.
Yeah.
And you're sat there with hair that the girl before basically got told now you have to change your hair. It's not really office appropriate. And I was just like, it's funny how, I don't know, that woman
double standards, right?
Had red hair, or maybe she's only just, and they were getting a bit more like, all right, we'll be a bit more inclusive and allow these sort of things up. It's funny, and like at school, so like I think I said about you before, didn't I? I remember desperately wanted to dye my hair blonde, like bleach blonde all over, and I kept on nagging my mum, and then she finally said, yeah, all right. We went and got the what is it? The one that's still like in shops now, like something Jerome Russell.
Yeah.
Got all of that because that was the one to do. I still use that now to dye bleach my hair, and it's really, really good because it's quite cheap. It does the job. And I remember she nagging her, and she was like, yeah. And she was like, right, we'll do it next week. because my mum, bless her, she used to work all different hours, shifts and stuff like that, and then literally I think she goes, right, we'll do it next week, and then that week another kid that I hung around with came in with bleach blonde hair, but then my mum had already bought everything, so I was like,
still had to go through with it.
Otherwise I'm going to look like an arsehole if I just go, nah, mum, I don't want to do it now. She'll be like, I'll spend this money on all this product, you're having your hair dyed, so I started to go through it, so then I've gone back walking into school looking like it's like two slim shadies just walking around.
Amazing.
And everyone was just like, oh, you can't beat him, and I was like, actually
it was on the calendar.
Actually, I've always got stick for like being a little bit different. And I remember like when I first listened heavily to Blink-182, it's like wearing my hat to the side.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, you look like a right dickhead while you wear. And like you think of like the way hats are worn out. This is coming from kids that used to wear their hat. So they used to have,
that's it.
They used to have their fringe down like that, and they used to have their hat up like that.
Yep, that's exactly it.
If anyone's having a good laugh now, good, because this is what we look like.
I used to wear it like that as well, mate.
13, this was it. So this was kids that were going like, you look like a div, but then if I put my hat over to the side like that, like Travis Barker, which now looks like a bit...
It still looked like a bit of a dick, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a 34-year-old married dad of 2 now. So like, at the time, I was trying to be a bit like different at that time. I was like, I've always been very expressive and stuff like that. Just always like different things, like fashion, like different hairstyles and different music, like say punky stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all of these people being different instead of I'm the. And again, there's nothing wrong with being the 2 back and sides dude. I have a 2 back and sides. I have a 3 back and sides now, but it's nice to be able to express yourself in any way.
Yeah, I think when you're getting into hair and you're enjoying getting your hair cut, then you start pushing boundaries. So I remember going back to school. It's really funny. I couldn't have a mohawk, so I rebelled by going short back and sides, but then growing the front and essentially the back still in a bit of a mohawk shape as long as I possibly could, and then I would spike it down with gel into spikes, almost like a cage. I basically cop blocked myself throughout year 10 and 11 because I just looked like a fucking idiot. But I had this hair just coming down my face, and I'd get styes all the time from all the hairspray in my eye. But I was told day before I was booked in to get my hair done for prom, big mohawk, and the head teacher pulled me out of class. The head teacher, so it had gone to the top. Fucking dickhead, he never liked me. And he's pulled me out. I'm hearing rumours that you want to come to prom with a mohawk. I went, yes sir, yeah, I think I look really good in my tuxedo with a mohawk, Dropkick Murphys style from one of the videos. No, if you turn up with a mohawk, you won't be allowed in prom, and I won't let you sit your GCSEs. So I come in a bowler hat with my spikes, and then the next day I got it and turned up for all my GCSEs with, it was fucking huge tiger stripe. Dale did it for me, so I had blonde, orange, black and brown like tiger. Flash forward a few years and I've gone back to that school to give a talk on mental health, and I finished up, and he's now the head teacher, this guy, but at the time he was just like head of year, and he was my old PE teacher, brought me in, and as I finished they've gone, do you want to see Mr. Panay? I went, oh, is he still here? Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to see you. I went, no, I'm all right, but can you tell him that the guy that he kept suspending for having funny hair is quite a successful barber now? Yeah. Mic drop, bitch.
You've got here to do this for.
Yeah.
Imagine that going to the board of like GCSE, but like, the board of exams. It's like, yeah, right, so why is this lad not allowed to sit his exams?
He's got a funny haircut.
Are you fucking, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you serious? Are you okay? Like, yeah, I can't have that, he's got a mohawk. It's like, what?
I will put a stamp on this, he will never succeed in life.
Yeah, he's not taking the test with his hair, right? No, A, B, C or D, or else I'll do that.
Yeah.
No, it's just, that's what I mean. So again, like things in school and stuff like that, it's just the way...
I worry now, man, when I get a kid saying, can I have a skin fade? I'm like, what school do you go to? Are they alright with it?
And again, like I was watching this, the amount of parents who've maybe had in where you go, like, what are we doing? And like, during summer holidays, like skin fades, it's not school.
Yeah, skin fade with a pattern,
like,
cool.
To school now, got to be a 1, because they won't allow a skin fade. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of private schools here, and they won't allow anything under a 2. Do they have a wild number 2 guard? Have they got a little 6mm ruler and they're checking hair?
It's like, what if a kid wants a shaved head? Or what if they want to be bald? That is a hair.
Yeah.
That is a style.
This same head teacher, he had a real problem with me and a guy called Connor, and Connor had a bit of a mullet.
Yeah, Connor sounds like bad.
So he had a bit of a fade on the side, going into a mullet where he's straight in the back, but he had his front bit of his fringe clippered off, that bit where it's like really short, and then all this was coming over. It was a pretty cool cut, to be fair.
Like Beckham had when he had it like down the front.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So Mr. Panay would pull Connor out of the lunch line with tissues in his hands and wipe the wax off his head. I mean, now you'd never get away with touching a child like that, but he genuinely, hear the squeak of him wiping it off, and he'd get all bits of tissue in his hair.
The system's gone from being able to cane kids.
Yeah.
I mean, my old man used to get caned, so we've gone from cane
to now you have to put them on a Zoom. What, by a teacher?
Yeah. Miss Chapman, she was like head of food technology.
We used to call it a rosebud.
She was a bit of a bitch, but when I look back on it now, she was quite funny. She was quite a funny, easygoing kind of person. But when it came to ties, if your tie weren't long enough, mate, she did not have it.
Really?
So all of us, mate, honestly, we're like, most of the time, you'd be like that kind of next to the wall, because we'd all have to line up the wall to get into the classroom. She'd walk past, so we'd all kind of just be like that. Because, mate, and half the time she was in her own world, bowling down, but if she caught you, she'd be like, whoa, bang.
Was your school the same? Because my wife's was the opposite. So my school was girls had short ties, boys had really long ties.
We was meant to just all
see, my wife's school, the girls had the long ties and the boy had the short ties.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, we was all meant to have them down proper. And all of them had the stupid little short ones, so someone used to tuck them into a shirt.
That's it. You get a really long bit you have to tuck in.
Yeah, so we've gone from caning to peanut into taking the wax out of your hair to now if they was to say, like, don't do that, I would probably get told.
Yeah.
Excuse me, don't do that in the hall. What did you just say?
Yeah.
My mum, next minute the police turn up. But, yeah, no, I think so. That's, earliest memories was that. And then I think when I hit 18, I think I then started going to an actual proper unisex hair salon. I think I went there once, and I can remember going there in this is back when I used to dress like I was Dizzy Rascal, all black night tracksuit.
Nice.
And I remember going there and I think I had my hair. I think I wanted it just kind of long. I say long, but like a long crop sort of textured with a bit of fringe coming over, not too much, but just it going over a bit, and then I think again it was 2 back and sides, and or maybe even a bit longer to be fair. Actually no, it was longer. And I remember having the haircut, and then I remember over the years it was a bit long, so I was like, can you just go over the ears a bit? And the girl went, yeah, okay, and then she's just literally just triangle to the top
with scissors.
With scissors. She's gone bop, and then she's gone, all right, and I went, yeah. It's 18 years old.
That's exactly what I wanted, love. That's perfect.
That is, wow, what mastery of your scissors. And then she just kind of went, and popped them in her pocket. But I was just never went back, obviously, because I was just I think that was when I then started cutting my own hair.
Right, fair.
Because I think I'd
have done that as well.
It was crap. And I wasn't I could do better, but then at the same time I think I probably was that typical age. And honestly, I remember giving myself a full fringe. So you think of full fringe now, but you think it's so again, barbs or anyone, so you think it's textured. It goes, you've got it textured all the way through. Mine was long from there, from the crown all the way down.
Nice.
Literally just gone with the clip. Not even trimmers. These were the proper clippers. So I've gone across with it, and that. I remember being upstairs in the bathroom, looking in the mirror. My mum and dad and brother were all downstairs watching a film or something like that. And this was on a Sunday. I can remember it vividly, man. I can remember how light it was outside. I can remember doing this haircut and I actually think, but it went all the way round as a block.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even actually on the forehead for the fringe part, mate.
You and those fucking Nicky Clark clippers, man.
That was I'd upgraded to just a
Trevor Sorbet.
It was Trevor Sorbet. Yeah, it was a while at home haircut or something like that. And oh my god, that was just horrific. And I just think I thought to myself, I was this is alright. And then and I think I just then carried on for ages, just doing 2 back and sides, not being able to blend the sides in because I didn't know how to blend the sides in, and I didn't have scissors or anything like that. So I was always just being I started to.
You started to learn how to do it, the C shape.
Because I was just I've got to do that to give that little C shape or however you want to say the seesaw, kind of thing, And I was but then just always just do 2 back and sides, really square it all off at the back. So I thought, that looks really clean and sharp, which it can do with certain old.
Makes your shoulders look so
oh my
broad.
god, it was just so funny how. So that's so I think kind of that, and then
it's funny how similar our stories are. With your mum dyeing your hair, I was punk as fuck in my mind. Do you know what I mean? I'd wear a German army t-shirt just to piss old women off.
Yeah.
And I'd wear chef's trousers that I'd bought off of a guy who ran a burger van called Gary. I bought these chef trousers off of him, and then I put my jeans over it and cut holes in them. So I think it's pretty cool. You could see the checks throughout the holes. Punk as fuck. When it comes to my hair, it's mummy, can you just shave up to here with a number 1 and can you help me? And she'd straighten it. I'd hold it up, and then she'd spray it with Fudge Skyscraper, back when Fudge Skyscraper was actually any good. And then we'd have to just apply loads of heat on it.
Yeah.
And then we'd spray it before I go to bed. I'd have to just lay like that with my pillow right down here so it didn't fuck up. And then when I go out, I've got like this really cool sort of textured mohawk, and everyone's like, oh, it's punk as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, but behind the scenes, my mummy's doing my hair for me every morning. She's got a little back comb brush getting it all up.
Yeah, making that like just gone, it's kind of got up, just went,
that's it, yeah.
Just went, and I was just like...
I'm so punk, I sleep with my legs in the air, you know, this is how I wake up.
You were effectively doing your hair like geishas used to, where they used to have their hair like crispy cut, and they used to just sit there with the little thing underneath.
That's it.
So,
just always makes me laugh when I look back at these pictures of me, and it's like, oh, he looks like he's really anti-everything, and I'm like, no, I'm just laying there on the bedroom floor with my mum spraying my hair for me.
It's funny how the...
She sprayed the colour on and everything, and everyone go, oh, you're so cool, like, you're so you're an anarchist.
The best looks always look like
Mummy's boy.
Being tried to get to that style, have always been trying to get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, you look like you just threw that on. It's like, yeah. It's like, no, this was like painstakingly thought.
Yeah, me and Mum fell out 4 times during this, you know. Every 2 days.
Yeah, no.
But Mum, I got a gig. She's like, oh, you want your hair done again?
Yeah.
Yes, please, Mum. Can you spray it blue today?
Yeah. I want a different colour today, Mummy. Please, thank you.
And you know, it's not a phase, Mum. Clearly, it's not a phase, Mum. Look at this, it's still going on.
Yeah, I think amount of colours I dyed my hair last year and that, so, and the year before. So.
Right, we're running out of time now, aren't we? So we're going to have to wind up for this episode.
Those are the earliest memories.
Yeah, those are mine. They're quite comical. It's weird. You've got a memory of an A1 poster. I've got a memory of an A1 poster.
Yeah.
You've got a memory of your mum doing your hair. I've got the same memory.
Taking in a poster of Michael Owen is definitely like the top tier standard of haircuts.
Yeah, I think that beats The Rock, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like just a free back and sides, maybe a bit of a sweep. Like that was, I mean, like real.
Were you like me as well, where when you get the haircut, you're like, fuck, I look just like him?
It's like someone bringing in a picture of Johnny Depp now, and you're like, yeah, fair play. And I'm like,
But like, I remember getting this haircut and being like in the mirror going, fuck, I look just like The Rock. I didn't. It was nothing like that picture, but I'm like, that's great. I'm The Rock, and I'm going out giving it the whole people's eyebrow to everyone. And
just rock bottom in. Like,
how much is a haircut? It doesn't matter how much the haircut is. Sorry, here's £10, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, well.
Thanks for watching. If you're still watching, I fucking don't know if anyone is. We kind of got.
If you're still watching,
got lost there, didn't we?
This one, but yeah, as I say, thank you for watching.
Send us some ideas of what else you'd like us to chat shit about.
To know about or anything like that. So
it only leaves us with one question, Chez.
I don't say it. No, I don't.
Who's next? Cheers for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, please hit subscribe somewhere down here. See you soon.